These are the 8 reasons why I choose Poland over the American dream. Let's get into it.
Number 1. Polish people feel more genuine.
You know, funny enough, I prefer Polish people over Americans. And let me specify this because apparently my last video really triggered a lot of Americans. So I will be making some generalization. And again, this is also my opinion, so it is subjective. And I'm not saying every single Americans are like this, but I will say a lot are. But I do prefer Polish people over Americans. And the reason why is Poland isn't disingenuous. There isn't this fakeness. There isn't this small talk where people are like, hey, how are you?
If you go to the grocery store and they're like, oh, great, why are you buying this? And oh, you have something to celebrate. I thought I crossed the border already, you know, so many questions.
When you enter a store, they're like, hey, how are you doing? And then I was like,
Do I know you?
hello? Sorry?
Is it too much?
It's too much.
Most people in Poland would think that it's fake. I think it's nice that they are very positive. Totally different in Poland, I guess. We are more negative.
I understand why people are a little fed up with that because it is kind of true where your life might be in shambles, but yet if someone asks, hey, how are you doing? You're gonna say, I'm good, I'm great, I'm fantastic. Whereas here in Poland, if I ask a Polish person, how are you doing? They're gonna tell me exactly how they're doing. It's very honest, and they're gonna tell you that their day might be shitty, or they're having a lot of problems with health, or something happened at home. So if you're gonna ask a question to Polish people, be ready to get an honest answer.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I like the fact how Polish people are very direct. If I ask someone in Poland, how do I look? And this is a true story actually. They will say, you look kind of fat. Bruh. And though it might seem a bit offensive, I like that. One, it reminds me of Korea because Koreans are a lot like this. They're very honest. Oh, you got a bit of fat. I'd be like, yeah, it's those damn cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
When this girl got fat-shamed in Korea, she had the strangest realization.
I'm fat in Korea and here's everything people have told me. My favorite one is from my cousin. We have a Kim Jong-un in the house. Is diet not a thing in Canada? I don't think you'll find anything of your size in Korean shopping mall. We only have one size here. There's a plus size store right around the corner. You'd have to specially order your size. And from my mom, you look very American these days. You'd want to go on a diet before you go to Korea if you don't want to be embarrassed. Lastly, from my dad, do you need a gym membership while you're in Korea? You can eat a whole chicken by yourself, right? Your legs will soon be bigger than mine. Guys, I think I should stop eating bulldog.
But is she even fat?
And I got that experience here in Poland too, so it makes me chuckle. One, I'm kind of used to it because again, Korean people, they like to destroy you as a human, but Polish people, they're honest, they're like that, and I value that. I value that it is a genuine place. It's not coming as someone who's trying to be superficial or try to gaslight you or even try to manipulate you. I'm not saying there aren't Polish people that are like that. I'm sure there are, but being honest and being true to yourself is something that I admire, and it's something that I hope I can try to be, right? It's something that I hope I'm trying to be, is being genuine, not trying to be something that I'm not. So shout outs to Polish people. I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate most Polish people I have ever interacted with are very genuine.
Number 2. Healthcare is more affordable.
Now, here's a caveat with that, because I understand that the government healthcare, there is a lot of significant problems here in Poland. That, absolutely, I understand that. But when I mean affordable, I mean the private healthcare. And honestly, even the public healthcare, I really appreciate. For example, my mother-in-law, she had hip replacement surgery. That would have cost us tens of thousands of Polish złotych. And we can't afford that, but the government healthcare system stepped up and my mother-in-law is now able to walk. She is recovering from it. In fact, she gets to go on this mini holiday and she gets to have this rehabilitation.
Nice.
So there's a lot of good things, even just getting an ambulance, right? In Poland, you can order an ambulance with a doctor's prescription and they come and they treat you very well. It's really nice. Whereas in America, and let's say you get injured or you get in a really bad car accident and you need an ambulance, a lot of people reject even having the ambulance comes. I have friends that rejected having ambulance comes because they knew it would cost them thousands of dollars to pay.
That moment when the ambulance driver tells you it's $1,000 ride to the hospital.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
No thanks. Oh, back to the ambulance.
And so while yes, there are huge problems with the Polish healthcare system, at the very least, at the very minimal, you can at least see a doctor. You can get treatment. Can it take a long time to get? Absolutely. But it is there. Whereas in America, you can have it, but you may go bankrupt on it. In fact, America's #1 bankruptcy is
medical bills.
They did like regular chemistry lab on him. That's like about a $12 blood test, and gave him like, I don't know, 250 to 500 cc of IV fluid. That was it. That was it. What do you think the bill was?
$1,200.
I don't remember it because I'd have to look at the post I put up. I think the bill was $6,000, of which we owed $2,000.
That's insane.
That's problematic. Now, juxtapose that with the following fact. Fewer than 50% of Americans today, if given 24 hours, can produce $2,500 in cash.
Jesus Christ.
So when we say healthcare is the leading cause of personal bankruptcy, it's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Like there's nothing else matters besides healthcare when it comes to personal bankruptcy.
When I read in the comments, well, America will be paying a significant amount of money for having universal basic healthcare. Yes, that's true. However, in Europe, within the EU, and do I think the EU is perfect? No. But with the EU, at least they should be having some sort of checks and balance, right? With a negotiation, with having a price ceiling. In other words, prices are only going to be so high, right? These healthcare systems are not going to be able to charge people literally an arm and a leg or a home. And so the prices are actually negotiated and they are priced where people can afford it. Is it perfect, as I mentioned? Probably not. Are there scams? Absolutely. Does Europe have lobbyists? Yes, they do. But it is significantly better than in America. And I think that's my point. It's not about, do I think America has better healthcare? One can argue, but for a lot of American people, they are priced out of it. And for Europe, if you don't know, a lot of times you have to pay a copay. So let's say you go to a doctor's, you still have to pay something out of it. So even if it's 20 USD or 20 bucks, it's still money that's coming out of your pocket, even though you're paying a monthly fee for the health insurance.
American health insurance is confusing because even when people have insurance, they usually still have to pay more money when they use it. There are three main costs: premium, deductible, and copay. A premium is the amount you pay every month just to have health insurance. Think of it like a subscription. Even if you do not go to the doctor, you still pay it every month. So someone might pay $300, $500 or more every month just to keep their insurance active. A deductible is the amount you have to pay yourself before your insurance really starts helping with bigger medical bills. For example, if your deductible is $2,000, that means you may have to pay the first $2,000 of your medical costs before the insurance company starts covering more. So yes, you can pay every month for insurance and still have to pay thousands before it really helps. A copay is a smaller fee you pay when you actually go to the doctor. For example, you might pay $30 to see your doctor or $50 to see a specialist. So in simple terms, you pay a premium every month to have insurance. You pay a deductible before insurance starts covering more. You pay a copay when you visit the doctor. That is why Americans get frustrated. Because they are not just paying once. They are paying every month, then paying before insurance kicks in, then paying again when they use the doctor. And sometimes, after all that, they still get another bill in the mail. That is why many Americans feel like having health insurance does not always mean health care is affordable.
Not to mention, doctors have to deal with this from insurance companies.
Let's say I'm following a patient's tumor size. We need an MRI to see how the tumor is behaving. The insurance company will deny it. I will call them. I will say the patient needs, why? Because of this. Did you get a CAT scan first? No, they don't need a CAT scan. They need an MRI. No, they do. And I have to argue for 45 minutes. Yeah. Guess what I don't get paid for as a doctor? Well, for me, I'm a weird scenario, but everyone else, time. If you're a lawyer,
Yes.
are you doing anything for 45 minutes
No,
without
not at
getting
all.
compensated?
I don't find that doctors will call and argue.
Most doctors will try and then we fail. So then we start trying to hire administrators to do it for us. And that is why healthcare costs have ballooned in this country.
I see.
Our healthcare costs have doubled, tripled. Doctors should be making way more money. They're not. I order antibiotic. I don't know which tablets, capsules. The patient's insurance denies the visit because I didn't put the right code or this and that. I'm a doctor. I do science. I do the body. I don't do codes. But now you have to become like a business person, a lawyer, a doctor, all in
But
one.
again, the objective of the insurance company is not to pay. Again, the objective of the insurance company is not to pay.
So yes, I do prefer Poland or the EU's health system over America any day of the week.
Number 3. The food in Poland.
The food in Poland. Now, could this change? Possibly. Who knows what's going to happen with the Mercosur deal? But I will say that the food in Europe, the food in Poland, is much better than in America. In America, GMO food, processed food is everywhere. And do Polish people eat processed food? Absolutely. Have I eaten processed food in Poland? You betcha. But when I go to Lidl or when I go to another supermarket, when I'm seeing what people are buying, they're typically buying fresh produce. They're buying things that they're gonna make a fresh meal out of instead of just warming something out of a box and saying, this is homemade. Like, check this video out.
Mama, you've been busy this morning.
Josh, I can use some help. It's already in the syrup, so we don't have to do nothing to these.
That's good.
Does it need some more cheese?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at more cheese, actually.
Bread, which I can cut tomorrow while everything's cooking, and I'll make the deviled eggs. And everything
And
else.
then everybody else is bringing something different.
Yeah. And then I can do the other stuff while this is cooking.
That's insane. I wouldn't eat that. I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't eat that. But that's a lot of times is what American people feel that's homemade. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm clearly generalizing, but you do see this a lot in America. And it's definitely doesn't look appetizing. It doesn't look appetizing whatsoever. It looks But my point is, even though there are some things I personally don't like about Lidl, I'm not a fan of Lidl's ground beef. It's, in my opinion, it's disgusting. But I think there are a lot of things that I think are better in Europe and the grocery stores compared to Walmart.
He ain't lying.
Walmart or any other large grocery chain stores like Vons, Ralph's, etc. They have a lot of processed food. Even the sprays they spray on the fruits and vegetables, it's not water. I can tell you that. It's definitely not water.
What exactly are they spraying on our vegetables here? So Chemstar makes Produce Max, which you see is being sprayed even on your organic vegetables here. It contains sodium hypochlorite, which is bleach, and also 6,000 parts per million of chlorine. Just to put that in perspective, your glass of water contains 4 parts per million, and yet you're ingesting this. The best thing you can do is find out what exactly is coming out of there, because not all stores have it, but there's 50 retail chains that do. And take this vegetables at home and make sure you are washing them. Put in baking soda, wash them, because God knows what else they're putting on these things.
Like here in Poland, if you don't want to buy something at Lidl or another grocery chain, you can go to like locally. There's a mom and pop place that sells local produce. I like that. You can literally see farmers going around and selling potatoes or carrots or whatever. You can purchase those produce directly from them. In fact, right down the street, there's someone selling fresh strawberries and they're delicious. And so when you eat fresh vegetables, when you eat fresh fruit and you're like, wow, this actually tastes like something, it kind of changes your whole image about the food we eat in America.
Look at all the junk food.
Oh, God damn it. Look, this wasn't...
You actually eat this
Look,
stuff?
this was...
Can you get fresh food in America? Yes. You can get practically anything in the States. However, it is more expensive. And for a lot of people, they're just priced out of it. And so for me, I prefer living in Poland because at least the food, it's affordable. It's more affordable than in America. And I know a lot of it isn't going to be GMO food.
Number 4, work-life balance and status priorities.
This kind of blew my mind when I first got my job here in Poland. The work-life balance. In Poland, you have almost 30 days paid time off. Throughout the holidays in Poland, and then just your days off that you can get from work right off the bat, you're like, wait a minute, you're telling me I have 30 days where I'm being paid and I don't have to work? And they're like, yes. And that's pretty awesome.
Excellent!
Because in America, typically you have to work 1 full year to be able to get at least 7 paid vacation days off. Let's say a family member died and you needed time off. They will give you time off for that and they'll pay you for it. And that's amazing. You don't have to live to work. You work to live. And that's a huge difference. What I love about Poland is that when people take time off or when they're going on holiday, typically, at least when I see with my wife, they're not on their phone or they're not on their computer. They're not doing work-related things. When they break, they break.
When we go on break, that's just what the we do. We break.
When they're on holiday, they're on holiday. And that's something I truly value. That's something that I wasn't really used to, because in the beginning, even on holiday, I would keep working because I still had that American mentality or brainwashing. And I still believe if I need to get ahead, right, I had to keep working. I had to keep going, because one of the things I notice about America, and it seems more prevalent living outside of it, is that we value money a lot of times over people. And I'm sure many of you have seen this, where people who would argue, you'll be like, oh, you can't even afford this, or look at your broke ass with your cheap ass shoes.
What is sad to me is how easily we reduce people to status and wealth. If someone does not have the newest car, the nicest house, the latest phone, or the most impressive job title, we act like they are somehow less valuable. I hate that. I really do. Because once you start judging people only by what they own, you stop seeing them as human beings.
Even when you go on dates with American women, and again, I'm not saying all, but a lot of times, and especially on social media, you see this a lot. A lot of times women would ask how much money you make or what's your credit score. So a lot of the value is how much money you can bring in. And I'm not saying money isn't important, but what I'm saying is that a lot of times we value money more than who a person is.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
How much money do you make? Like, I don't want to seem like interested in like money and stuff, but I just want to come out from the get-go to tell you, like, I'm not a gold digger or anything, but I just don't go out with broke boys.
I think I make good enough to.
And I know you just took me to Applebee's, like, I get it, maybe you don't want to take me to the most fanciest place, like, on the first date, but never again are you going to take me here.
Next time we could go somewhere else. But...
Like, Applebee's is not acceptable. I'm high-end.
We're just getting to know each other. You're not even my girl.
Well, yeah, but this is dating to marry, right?
Or who knows?
And if I date, it's not to waste my time, so I'm not going to be going out and going to, cheap restaurants.
And I don't like that. At least here in Poland, with a work-life balance and how Polish people view money, it seems it's more balanced. And it's funny, I read recently in a comment where someone who is Polish who lives in America, well, I make this much money and I bought this house and I'm this and that. And I'm like, that's great. Good for you. I'm glad you're successful. But honestly, I don't care. I think most people don't care. But unfortunately, this is something that America, we value. We don't work to live, but we live to work. And due to that, we value money more than who a person is. Is that a hot take? Probably. But that is my opinion.
Number 5, public transportation is actually safe.
Public transportation is amazing here in Poland. You go on a tram or you go on a bus and you can go around the city. Now, I don't know what it's like in a village, right, or a smaller town. I can only speak of cities I've been to, like Wrocław, Warsaw, Gdansk, Kraków. And I will say that the public transportation is amazing. It's very nice. Is it Japanese amazing? No. Japan's public transportation is like the final boss of public transportation. It's on another level.
It's over 9,000!
But as far as America and Poland, Poland's public transportation is amazing. Now, yes, does America have cities that have public transportation like Chicago and New York? Yes. However, recently we've seen that there's a lot of violence that's happening, right? People like literally are waiting and they're being poured gasoline and then caught on fire.
Today, the Chicago U.S. Attorney's Office filed a federal terrorism charge against Lawrence Reed, a 50-year-old Chicago resident, in connection with a brutal and vicious attack on a young woman on the CTA Blue Line on Monday evening at approximately 9 p.m. The victim was riding northbound, approaching the Clark and Lake subway stop in the Loop, minding her own business and reading her phone, when the defendant doused her with gasoline and lit her on fire. The surveillance video is difficult to watch and is very disturbing, as a young woman was set ablaze and tried to put herself out while other passengers got out of the way or watched. When the train stopped and the victim was able to muster the strength to stumble on the platform, two good Samaritans put out the flames. She remains in critical condition, and we pray for the victim's recovery.
We're seeing people being pushed on the subway tracks.
I do want to get to some breaking news that we are following here on Live Now. Take a look at this video coming in from our Fox 5 New York station. Here is what we know about that suspect right there on your screen. Police say the suspect has been arrested after a man was pushed onto the subway tracks near Chelsea. All of this happening Tuesday afternoon. That is according to NYPD. Now, the suspect, identified as 23-year-old Kamel Hawkins, has been charged with second-degree attempted murder and second-degree assault. The victim, a 45-year-old man, we're told was shoved onto the subway tracks there at the 18th Street station. That is over in Chelsea at around 1:30 p.m. local time. He was struck by a southbound number 1 train and rushed over to Bellevue Hospital by first responders. We are told that he is in critical but stable condition.
This is crazy. There was a young woman, I think over a year ago, a young Ukrainian girl, and she was unalive due to this crazy man just by taking a public bus.
A new surveillance video shows a man in North Carolina accused of unprovoked murder of a Ukrainian refugee. This attack happened on a commuter train in Charlotte back on August 22nd. Police say the suspect stabbed the victim several times and was arrested after stepping off the train. He has more than a dozen convictions dating back to 2014. His family says he suffers from mental health issues.
I think here in Poland, we don't really have to worry about that. Could it happen? Maybe. But is it as prevalent as it is in America? No. Now, granted, America is a much bigger country. We're talking about 350 million compared to 38 million people. But still, the point is still the same. Taking public transportation, you don't have to worry about if you're going to get hurt. Taking public transportation is a way of life for a lot of us here who live in Poland and who live in Europe. And again, it's more safe than it is in America.
Number 6, Poland feels safer.
And speaking of safety, Poland is a very safe country. Now, like I mentioned in the last example, yes, there's about 38 million people compared to America, which has about 350 million, give or take. Now, America is a very violent country. By no means am I saying that Americans should get rid of their guns. I think the Second Amendment in America is extremely important. But there's also a huge amount of gun violence in America. And to say that there isn't, you must not be paying attention, because there is. Pew, 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 pew. In Poland, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry if you go to a concert that you might get gunned down. You don't have to worry about if you go to a grocery store, you might get gunned down. You don't have to worry about if you send your children to school, that your children might get unalived. So that's nice. There is that peace of mind. There is the safety in Poland. Now, I'm not saying if you're like a young girl and it's like 2 in the morning, you should go around the city center with your earbuds in, blasting music and pretend everything's gonna be fine. I think you should be cautious for sure, because there are crazy, violent people everywhere.
I'm fed up with this world.
But in America, it's a bit different. You wouldn't catch me in parts of Chicago or New York or Memphis. There are just some places that are just typically just dangerous. And the violence in America is quite palpable. And we hear it all over the news. We hear it all the time, right? The world hears that there is violence that's happening in America. And here's a fun fact. Poland is one of the lowest SA European countries in the EU. And so yeah, Poland is safe. And that's something I really value. And that's something I wish we could say about America, that America is a place where you can feel safe. So Europeans, Polish people, if you do go to America or visit, just have your head on a swivel in some cities. I'm not saying everywhere you're just gonna get unalived. that's crazy. But I will say that it can get violent and just be cautious.
Number 7, being able to travel around Europe.
You can travel, and you can travel in a lot of different countries here in Europe. And so Poland is literally Central Europe. So fun fact, if you visit Poland, don't call Polish people Eastern Europeans. They don't like that. It is insulting, and so don't do it. So you've been warned. But with that said, Poland's in the center of Europe. And so due to that, you're able to go to a lot of different countries relatively inexpensive. So if I want to visit my sister-in-law in London, it's just a hop, skip, and away. If I want to go to Norway, it's right there. If I want to go to Santorini, Greece, it's right there.
This is a day in the life of an American tourist in Europe. I start my day off by trying some of the local European cuisine. This place was called Breakfast in America. So awesome. This is why I love to travel, so you can experience new things. Around noon, I quietly talk to the locals about sports.
By the way, what's the most popular sport in the country of Europe?
To my surprise, they tell me football. I decide to go and check out a game. It was awesome to see how similar European football is to American football. For lunch, I try some more European food, hamburgers and French fries. Then I decide it's time to experience some real European culture. I can tell that this trip is really enriching me culturally. I feel like I'm learning so much about Europe. Around 5 p.m., I decide to try something new, public transportation. All the French fries I ate have me a little tired. No wonder everyone in Europe is so lazy. I think I may have gotten off on the wrong stop because everything looks funny and they speak a weird form of English called German. Everyone in the country of Europe says I look American. Nice people. I'm glad I decided to go on this trip.
It's usually about 2.5 to 3 hour flights to get around Europe. You can go to several countries in one day, try out different cuisines and foods. You have European countries that have history that are thousands of years old. So it's really interesting to be able to go to these different countries and experience different cuisines, listening to different languages, understanding different cultures, and just engaging yourself with something that's different. And yes, before the Americans say, well, we get to visit other countries. Okay, Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbeans, yeah, they're great. Canada's great, Mexico's great. I love Mexico, I love Mexican food. The Caribbeans are also wonderful and nice as well too. But there's something different where you can be in Italy and then in a couple hours you can go to Spain. So there are some really amazing benefits if you love to travel, if you live in Europe. So it's something I really value because I love to travel. I love to experience a lot of different things, a lot of different cuisines and culture. So living in Poland, it allows me to check off a lot of things I wanted to do when I was young. And so this is another reason why I prefer living in Poland than in America, because it just makes traveling within Europe much more easier. And you get to experience so many different things, so many different cultures, and so many different types of cuisine.
Number 8, America's dream is over. To be continued.
So if you do like this type of content and I bring value, I do ask if you can please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and also hit that hype button, because as I always say, I'm really trying to build a community and grow with all of you. Thank you everyone for watching, and if you stayed till the end, you are true legends. And so with that said, and without further ado, let's get into it.